Hey YouTube, so I just wanted to make a quick video about my Corsair Scimitar Pro here. This is the guy with the keyboard on the side. There's no way, or no video I could find to take these guys apart, so I figured my pain, your gain. Basically, my left click has kind of gotten wacky. My right click works beautifully, no matter which angle that I click it at here. No matter where I put my finger, so long as I can make that mouse button travel, it will click. My left, not so much. It's very finicky about where I actually click, and that's quite annoying when you're playing a shooter, your Counter-Strike, your PUBG, or your Overwatch, or whatever, and you left click to kill something, and nothing happens, and you get angry and you click harder, and that makes things worse, and there's a surprise towards the end of the video about that. But anywho, I figured I'd take this guy apart and see what the heck was wrong with it. So I took off the 4 Teflon pads that you'll find on the bottom of this to reveal the 4 screw holes. One stayed stuck in there, but I'm sure that won't be an issue. Next comes the tricky part, separating the entire top of the clamshell, I'd say. Basically, you can start lifting from the right mouse button side, as it will come apart the easiest, just right there. You can sort of lift that guy apart and just sort of work your way around. Unfortunately, this does require 2 hands, so I will be right back. Okay, so once you get this back part undone, basically just follow it with your fingernail all the way, and use more brains than brawn, don't be too hard on it. And your entire casing, or top half of the clamshell, should just really pop free from the rest of the mouse. So anywho, I figured I might have some gunk built up on the left click micro switch, which is right in the center of the frame there, and you'll see there's not really a lot built up on either of those. There's a tiny coating of dust, but nothing too serious. And when I zoom in on this guy, just to give you guys a better look, I'll bring in my handy dandy micro switch tester, i.e. flat blade screwdriver. I'm actually going to change hands for this so I'm not in my own light. I'm just going to test this guy out, but pressing that down, that feels like a good micro switch. There's a nice audible click there. Travels good. We'll go over to the right micro switch. Same thing, feels about the same. So we know the right switch works fine, and the left switch works basically identically. So what else could our problem be? So I took a look at this side of the case itself, and lo and behold, there was our issue. So in the center of the frame, towards the top right by my index finger here, those are the plungers that actually actuate the mouse buttons. There's the right click, there's the left click. Those are fine. In between here, there's no gunk, no shmoo, and those plungers work just dandy. As I push up on this guy, you can see that plunger comes up, or down in this case, and as I push on this guy, you can see that plunger moves alright. The difference is the state of the very tip of the plungers themselves. I'm going to use my finger to contrast this, but you can see there is a good chunk missing out of that one. If we take a look at the left side, you can see almost immediately, or sorry, the right side, you can see almost immediately that's still nice and square. That's still intact, but this left side has just got a huge chunk driven out of it, and I think that's due to my nature as being a 200-pound gorilla. I obviously just pushed too hard on this one or two times out of frustration, and that's gone and buggered it. But I did find a quick and simple fix that worked actually surprisingly well. So basically, what I have here is a 1/4-inch strip of Gorilla Tape. And This isn't really, it's like duct tape on steroids, just a good adhesive and really thick. And all I'm gonna do here is drop that exactly to where I can't see it. Get this back in frame. And my lighting is poor, so I'm gonna do this left-handed instead. So I stay out of my own light. And I'm just going to apply this tiny piece of duct tape over the top of that. And all we've done here is created a flatter surface for that mouse button to click on. So now, time to reassemble this guy. Basically, it really helps if you start where you finished. This little tail here is going to give you the most trouble taking it apart, and it's going to give you the most trouble putting it back together. So we're basically just going to glide that into where we want it. And the mouse kinda sorta should fit together. There we go. Basically just try and pull that down and over that. We're almost there. Oh, there we go. Wish I had a tripod, I'm sorry guys. But basically, the mouse is back together minus the screws. Oh, there we go. Now it's back together minus the screws. But we'll give that a test click, and that feels light years better. Now I'm not sure about the permanence of this fix, but as you can see now, pretty much anywhere I can click, if I can get that thing to travel, just like the right side, it works, and it actually feels pretty good too. It doesn't feel, the travel's a little bit less than the right side, but that's okay. It still feels stiff. But all that's left to do is put our 4 screws back in, reapply our pads, which is pretty straightforward, and you're good to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick fix, and I'll talk to you later.